Hey, YouTube. Let's do this.
Well, I started this story in the middle of the page. I remembered the lines and forgot my age. When somebody said my attitude was snotty, that's when you call and say get out tonight. I catch a late night movie on a late night flight. I'll be getting real drunk and making fun of everybody. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have gone around. Hey, you can stick that sign up your ass. The one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. To a party last Saturday night. You know, I think I got laid, then I got in a fight. I don't remember that much, but I think I liked it. I saw some band called Roses and Sake, and they brought back the rock and the singer was cocky. 2 years later, I'm sure they'll forget about it. Ain't nobody gonna get me down. Something must have gone around. Yeah, you can stick that sign up your ass. The one that says it won't last. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day. Your sarcasm cuts like a knife. I'll have the time of my life. My sugar buzz is growing higher and higher every day.
Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to Squash Talk. I'm Pat. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for being here. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Sorry, I got some things going on here. Done. Sorry, I apologize for being late. I was trying to set up PD Cam, and I was having trouble with it, so I gave up. PD, come here. He can be on camera whenever he wants. So what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight, man? Lots of breaking news. I mean, we got real breaking news tonight. Absolutely breaking news. Paul Freeman, proven hoaxer. Nobody knew it. I didn't know it. I found it out last week. And I've been sitting on it until I decided to do a show. And we'll get to that. First, we're going to address the stupid somebody filmed the Bigfoot thing? Really? No, didn't happen. Turns out. Unfortunately, I want to address that because uh my producer is texting me. I want to address the film, the latest thing to break, on Facebook in the community or Twitter, wherever you live in the Bigfoot world, people. Uh, the Ronnie LeBlanc bullshit of oh, hey, I just got a call for some researchers and they filmed a Bigfoot, which is not true. Just bullshit, PR stunt, obviously. Pete, come here. And yeah, so I have to address that because it ties into the Freeman thing, right? You know, the Freeman footage has always been held at this pedestal of second best to PG film, which is ridiculous. It's like, really, that's the second best is like 1 second clip of that nobody knows what the hell they're looking at. But yet we can have a fucking conference about it 6 months ago. Come here, Pete. Anyway, before I get to that, then here's Pete. So we got a little bit of Petey Cam. I'm just having fun with this tonight. Why not? I'm on my way out of the fucking Bigfoot world. Might as well have fun with it, right? Because I don't fucking care. Even though I am gonna dial some stuff back tonight, just because. And I think you all know, wink, wink. Yeah. So I fired Tim, and I finally fired Tim. He was a good producer. He screwed up a lot. His impressions are but fired Tim, and I've replaced Tim with my new producer named Jenny. She's a great producer, a lot of experience, very smart, intelligent girl. And so Jenny is now the producer of Squatch Talk and future podcasts. So just want to go over that business real quick. Now, let's get into the stupid breaking news that was a nothing burger. Came out on Wednesday. Ronnie LeBlanc runs his mouth about somebody called him and said they filmed a Bigfoot. And then, what happened last night? Whoa, no. Actually, the nothing burger popped 2 days later in the form of, nope, that never happened. What? What do you say, Pat? It never happened. So it only took 2 days for it to become a nothing burger. That's it. 2 days. You don't even have to wait the 4, 3, 5, 6 months, whatever it is, for the documentary to come out to find out it's a nothing burger. You found it out on Friday. Well, it's it's not all that. It's just, I don't know. Maybe Ronnie was running his mouth. I'm not a mind reader. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so did I. I mean, I called it out immediately as a nothing burger. Like, I was prepared to come to the Bigfoot world and just say, hey guys, don't hold your breath, because there isn't amazing footage of Bigfoot that's about to be dropped in your fucking lap. You know why? I can tell you why. The 200 fucking people looking for Bigfoot are never going to get within 5 fucking square miles of one, much less film it. Boots on the ground style, like, it'll never happen. there are 60 to 80 million people that go out in the fucking woods every year. That's how you're going to get Bigfoot filmed. That's where your encounter stories come from. Like, it's a huge pool. Not the 200 researchers who don't know one fucking thing about Bigfoot more than I do. They'll never get it done. Ever, 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 ever. It only professionals could come into this fucking undiscovered primate living in North America. Only a professional who does not have Bigfoot on the brain, but is objective and looking, like, really looking for objective answers, objective evidence, like concrete evidence. Like, those are the people that would ever get that done. And they would, I mean, where the fuck do you find these things? Where? Like, if you know where Bigfoot is, then how come you don't have really good evidence? Yeah, I mean, whatever, dude. Like, I hear you, Jeff. Look, whatever. This is a big misunderstanding, in my opinion. Somebody pulled some kind of fucking trigger. Again, like, so I know what's going on here. Like, I know I'm not going to talk about who this is or anything like that because I have reasons for that. And most of you can figure that out. That's cool. But I'm just not going to talk about it publicly. I know what's going on here. And it would appear that there was a huge fucking mistake made. Somebody pulled some kind of trigger that they shouldn't have pulled. And the other people who were also involved didn't fucking know about it. And yeah, right. The post was taken down. Shocker. Again, like, so that's more evidence. And then again, last night, the whole, hey, whoa, wait, nobody ever really said. But wait, no, it was said. It was said, it was discussed, it was put out there. This is hopeful, but be cautious. Like, all that fucking happened. You can't take that back. And yeah, so, like, Ronnie's posts were deleted. That is pretty good indication it was just a big giant fuck up on somebody's part. Again, it's a nothing burger. It doesn't matter. We could all sit here and speculate who screwed this up and what is this really all about and who's involved. You know who's not involved? Bigfoot. Bigfoot's not involved in any of this because nobody fucking filmed a Bigfoot. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter who screwed up or what person or this regime, or is it these Bigfooters, or is it that Bigfooters? Is it a weird coincidence? Doubtful. All that matters is Bigfoot's not involved. Is that it's all bullshit. It's a big nothing burger. And it took 2 fucking days for the nothing burger to collapse. Like, that's fucking hilarious. That's the only point. It ain't Bigfoot. Like, none of you motherfuckers in the Bigfoot world are ever going to get within 5 square miles of Bigfoot. And, like, that's being generous. I'd say 50. 50. So you're not going to film it. Like, you just, it's not going to happen, dude. You know, the only way to actually find and film an undiscovered primate, which, again, would be the most amazing biological discovery in human history, is only going to come from aerial surveillance. That's it. That's it. That's where you can hit 10 square miles, 20 square miles. Like, you can really reach out and touch AI systems, swarms, all that shit. You know, Jeff and I talked about it the other day. I could talk about it ad nauseum, but I'm done because those are the facts. Aerial surveillance is the only way to observe a undiscovered primate in North America. That's the only way it's ever going to happen. You know, other than like some dumb luck thing that comes from a person. Again, if grandma, you know, runs one over tomorrow, again, some stupid dumb luck thing, I'll give that, but I'll give it on 100 million scale, not the 200 fucking Bigfoot researchers that don't have shit. None of you. Not one of you. Not one of you has any piece of evidence that's good enough for discovery, and not one of you knows anything more about Bigfoot than I do. Not one. Not one fucking person. And if you think you do, come on here and fucking challenge me, talk to me about it. I'll be more than happy to have that discussion. So here we are. The big nothing burger that just dropped in everybody's lap. Everybody got so fucking worked up about. Turned out to be a nothing burger. All got dialed back. Basically did nothing. Oh, we didn't film shit. I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't film anything. Okay. Yeah, nothing burger. What's up, my buddy? What's up, Steven? And hey, everybody else. Like, again, Aiju, Sandra, Raptor, Jeff, Patrick, man, like, you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Again, I don't fucking care. I will just tell it like it is because I got 1 foot out the door, and I'm not the only one, by the way. I'm not the only one. But I got 1 foot out the door with Bigfoot, dude, because the bullshit never ends, and I can't fucking overcome it, you know, like, you know, I started this channel as a reasonable discussion about the subject matter of the phenomena, and then it transitioned into like the first panel discussion about Bigfoot on YouTube. The biggest and the first, even though it wasn't huge, it's never been a huge channel, but I used to get thousands of views. And my panel discussions were very popular. And then COVID hit, and everybody figured out how to like use StreamYard, and now everybody in chat has a fucking goddamn Bigfoot show, you know. So I've peaked. And so I don't care. I have nothing to lose, you know. Anybody that wants to, you know, like be my friend in the Bigfoot world, like, cool, I'll be friends with you. I have nothing against you, personally. But I got 1 foot out the door, and I don't fucking care anymore. So I'm just gonna fucking say it like it is. Just, you know, on my show, on my channel, I'll say it like it is. There's nobody here to boot me except my producer, Chinny. She could boot me, but my new producer. Other than that, you know, if Ginny doesn't boot me, I can say whatever the fuck I want. So I'm gonna calm down, Pat. Calm down. Get a little too excited. Come here, Pete. Come on. Yeah, that's true, Kaiju. That could happen, and it might. Right? Yeah. That's right, Eric. And Eric, we might get you involved in what I'm gonna discuss. Like, I probably should get to the Paul Freeman stuff, because that's really the crux of this. So I'll go ahead and transition away from the nothing burger that collapsed in 2 days. Bro, we got video. There was 5 of there. We got surrounded by a family of Bigfoot, and we filmed some of them. Right? It turned out to not be true already. Not true. Never happened. Where did it come from? I don't know. You know, I don't know who pulled that trigger. Like, I could speculate and I could name names, but I'm not going to because there's no point. It's a nothing burger. It's already proved itself to be a nothing burger, so it's already fucking destroyed. And I'll make this prediction. There will be a documentary, and there will be a documentary released, and it will fall flat on its fucking ass. The Bigfoot community will not embrace it. I'll tell you this, dude, okay, before I move on to Paul Freeman, I'll tell you this. So if you're going to make a Bigfoot documentary, there's one thing you better do. Like, you know, unless it's more intellectual or dealing with the subject on a more intellectual level, like there's certain kinds of Bigfoot documentaries you could make in the way that goes against what I'm about to say. If you're making a researcher documentary, Bigfoot better fucking show up. Bigfoot better show up in your documentary. And that's what Todd Standing did. He made 2 actually very, you know, I'd say relatively successful documentaries. And guess what happened in both of them? Bigfoot showed up. There was a fucking Bigfoot. There's a money shot. Now, of course, it's BS. It's not real. But Bigfoot showed up. And if you're going to make a Bigfoot documentary that's, you know, researcher based, you better have something better than tracks or anecdotal, you know, eyewitness testimony. I've interviewed 1,000 people that said they saw Bigfoot. You better have something better than that. Bigfoot has to show up. You've got to have that money shot. And either you're getting a real money shot, unlikely, I'll just say virtually impossible, or it's a hoax. But your researcher documentary is going to fall flat on its face, no matter who you are. No matter who you are. It's going to fall flat on its face unless Bigfoot actually shows up. And that's what Todd Standing got right. That's why that motherfucker has the highest viewed Bigfoot documentaries, researcher documentaries, out of anyone. Is because Bigfoot shows up. It's that simple, people. Bigfoot has to be there. You gotta money shot that shit at the end. You gotta have it. Whether it's real or not, you gotta have it. Again, that's what makes Todd so, like, actually very smart. At least from a production standpoint, like you know, figuring out like how he wanted to present that to the world. He knew that Bigfoot had to be there, and he made it happen, and he did. Bigfoot actually fucking showed up. So if you're gonna make a Bigfoot research documentary, then Bigfoot has to be there, and so that's all I have to say about that. Let's transition. Even though I'm interested in what Steven has to say. Man, there's been, I mean, a documentary is just a narrative, kaiju. Like we could get into the semantics of well, documentaries are supposed to be real, but there's different types of documentaries. And so I've seen plenty of documentaries that were fake as fucking hell. The narrative was false the entire time, but you can use persuasion, storytelling persuasion, to persuade an audience to your agenda or whatever, and that's still called a documentary. So, what does Stephen have to say here? The announcement, the defensiveness or attack of critics, which I mean, I don't know. Were there any critical attacks? I don't think so. One might consider what I've said here tonight a critical attack. Postponement of evidence, yeah, that's a good one. Number 4, postponement of evidence again. You're right. Number 5, claim you are a victim of a hoax. Some of that's happened. Some of that's happened. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, like, God, I mean, I would beg any producer to make a documentary, like, to be like super objective and scientific about the whole Bigfoot subject and the phenomena, like in a way that we've never seen. Yeah, it hasn't been done yet. It hasn't been done. And I mean, that's money on the table, because I think that the general public would be more interested in that type of documentary. As opposed to like just pure entertainment, which is, again, anecdote, basically. And then like the flip side of that coin, it's either anecdote documentary, or it's like we're out there getting it, we're looking for Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot doesn't show up. And like, again, like, so the general public isn't really into any of that. I mean, even Todd Standing shit was mostly for the Bigfoot world. Mostly, those were most of the people who attended. And again, he was brilliant in a way that like, Bigfoot shows up. If you're going to do a fucking Bigfoot documentary, Bigfoot has to show up. Just like a Bigfoot conference out in the woods. If you're going to do a Bigfoot conference out in the woods, you better make sure the Bigfoot shows up, because all those motherfuckers will come back next year paying their $500. Right? Yeah, you're not, dude. You're not. You're not a fucking troll. Like, I still got your back, Raptor. I know you get on people's nerves, and there's people I know who have already banned you from chat, dude. But you and I are saying the same shit. It's just that, man, I can come on here and I can articulate it in a long form way. And I can even bring other people on to bounce off of. And again, more articulation, more discussion. Like, and Raptor, he makes comments. He's saying the same shit. It's just the context is lost because it's just a fucking comment, as opposed to like a long form discussion about the same shit, the same exact shit. Yeah. Rhetoric, not science. I love that. I like that. And let me remind you folks, and maybe some of you have never been here before. this comment comes from a man who like stood 15 fucking feet in front of a Bigfoot, you know, and had a kind of a traumatic experience from it. And he's willing to say this. That's true objectivity, in my opinion. Yeah, that's. I mean, are we gonna beat that dead horse more? You know, you are correct, Kaiju, my friend, my young Padawan, Kaiju. Yeah. Everybody's, yeah, Patty. Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing more to learn out of that film, and that film is representative of the best evidence we have. You know, well, I say we. Like, I ain't a part of this shit anymore. I mean, I'm. So I'll say it for the fucking 100th time. When I look at that film, I still see like, what the fuck is that? It doesn't look like a guy in a suit to me. It looks like a big, robust, fucking like booby hanging, natural booby hanging, like fucking hairy primate thing. Like that's what it looks like to me. That's what Patty looks like. You know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Like it could be an elaborate hoax, but the PG film is nothing more than a controversial film, and it's the best captured potential evidence of Bigfoot ever. You know, it's the best evidence ever captured on film of a Bigfoot, and that was in 1967. You understand that, right? Let's say it's a Bigfoot. All right, let's just say, like, we're all friends here. We're all in the Bigfoot world. I think that most people watching right now would agree. Like, yeah, it kind of looks like a, monkey woman thing, monkey female, a monkey doesn't have a tail, but that's what I call them. I call them monkey people. That's my name for them. It kind of looks like that, you know. 1967, man. I think this year will be what, the 60. No, I'm sorry, 58th in October, 58th or 59th. Let me do some quick math. Yeah. Anniversary of the PG film, and there's been nothing even in the ballpark since. And now it's 2024. We have these beautiful, look, these things are beautiful. Let me tell you about it. These wonderful machines called fucking advanced thermal drones. And thermal is for finding, not filming. These things have other cameras on them. They have spotlights on them. I mean, again, like, I'll just say it. Like, I could find a chipmunk in the woods. I could find a little raccoon pup, a little baby raccoon in the woods with the technology that's available, and I could film it. So I can definitely find a Bigfoot. So it's 2024, the best footage we've ever fucking had. Again, assuming Patty is real, comes from 1967, before I was born. Because I was born in 1995, but okay. We definitely need to transition into this. Watch the enhanced or clarified version of the video that is included in the Michael Freeman book, which I think is the same footage they based an entire conference around 6 months ago. There really is something weird hanging off the side of the subject, which then seems to climb up. All right. Stephen, so you're supporting the Freeman footage? That's kind of weird. That's actually kind of interesting to me. It almost sounds like you're supporting it. And you're supporting the idea that something new was discovered that is interesting. All right. Well, I did not expect that tonight at all. Tell me more, Stephen. Because, I say, what are the odds? So I'm going to go ahead and transition into the Paul Freeman thing. Because I found something out that I didn't know about before. I never found out about. If I can, I can pull it up. I just gotta, might have to get rid of this. Just get rid of that. I'm gonna have to pull a screenshot. All right, just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Talks amongst yourselves. Okay, so we got that. Hello. Okay. All right. Here we are. Yeah. Ooh, what is it? Ooh, I mean, what are you seeing, Steven? Like, holy shit. This is a flipping of the script here. Like, what do you think you're seeing? I mean, kind of surprised that, like, you're thinking that there's something interesting there. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of going off what you're saying. But that's cool. Like, Steven, I ain't trying to like get into it with you or anything. I kind of thought it was interesting that you're taking that stance in the comments there. Because like I'm about to say something completely different. Well, right. If the thing is, Kaiju, if it was planned that way, then adding that narrative in live or as you're recording it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's a smart play. which I'm 100% think um, what happened. And yeah, Bernie, like, God, I want to get to all this shit. Actually, I did see that, and I thought it was interesting. Um, I thought it was very interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the hoax because Paul Freeman is a proven hoaxer. Paul Freeman is a proven hoaxer. Did you guys know that? I just found that out. I didn't know that. That nobody ever nobody ever seems to want to talk about that elephant in the room. In fact, just don't even let the elephant in the room. But he's a proven hoaxer. He's been caught hoaxing. He admitted to hoaxing in the 80s. Do you know that? Do anybody know that? That Paul Freeman admitted to hoaxing prints, footprints, and stories about families. Oh, sound familiar? Of being surrounded by a family of Bigfoot, and here are the prints as evidence to support the story. Sound familiar? Any of that? A family of Bigfoot? Does anybody watching this show right now know that Paul Freeman in the 80s was confronted and admitted to hoaxing footprints and a story, multiple stories? Is this, has anybody ever heard this before? Anyone? Let's check the comments. Tracker. Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm about to bring that up. All right. Okay. So here we go. Just give me a second, guys and gals. Window. This, I believe, looks right. Yeah, it looks right. Here we go. So I'm gonna read it to you guys. may not be able to read it, but this is from Matt Crowley. Professional tracker Joel Hardin was brought in by the Forest Service to investigate Freeman's tracks. Hardin later wrote a book entitled Tracker. On page 140, we find the following damning passage. Several times between the sighting in the Mill Creek watershed and 1994, Paul Freeman was involved in other Bigfoot sightings, including one in which he reported seeing a family of the creatures. Sound familiar? Including a male, female, and offspring. Local sheriff's deputies searching the scene of the sighting discredited this report and confronted Freeman. He admitted to authorities that he had not only made up the story, but had constructed some feat to make evidence to validate his sighting and had done so in previous events. And I'll get to the Good Morning America thing here in a second. Think about it. Where would Good Morning America get the idea to ask Freeman about making fake tracks? They surely knew he had already confessed to the sheriff's authorities. So there it is. There it is. He was caught hoaxing. And so all right, so here come the excuses, right? Like, what? There's no evidence of that? Sure there is. It's in this guy's book. Why would he write that? There's a sheriff's department involved. I'm sure Eric might could get to the bottom of that, even though it was a long time ago. And yeah, why did Good Morning America ask him? No, Good Morning America didn't ask him. Good Morning America said to him, and I have the clip and I'll play it. They said specifically, but you made fake Bigfoot prints. But you made fake Bigfoot prints. And Paul Freeman goes, yes, I did. And the narrative in the Bigfoot world has always been, and still is that, well, what Paul Freeman meant was, he would make prints in his own backyard, and because he was practice casting. It wasn't practice casting. He was practice faking. He was drawing these prints with his own fucking hand. He was stomping them out and then drawing them. He was a fucking artist. So here we have a known hoaxer, a busted known hoaxer who admitted to authorities that he was fucking hoaxing. What are the odds that that same dude just happened to capture a Bigfoot for real in 1994? Zero. I'm not even going to say virtually zero. I'm just going to say zero. Those are the odds. The odds that a guy who's admitted hoaxer in the fucking 80s went on Good Morning America and asked the tough questions. Although I will admit it was edited weird. Good Morning America did edit it in a way that, and I mean, I'll play the clip, but they did edit it in a way that kept it like more entertaining, I'll say, and interesting. And it's Peter Jennings too. Like, well, Peter Jennings didn't do the interview, but Peter Jennings, like, he opened the spot, he opened the bit, whatever. And so a young Peter Jennings in like 1980s. So this guy, Paul Freeman, who's like on fucking ABC, which at the time, dude, there was only the big three, really, right? It's not like today. So that was a big fucking deal to be on ABC and be featured. And it was more than just that one interview they did. There was other people involved. There was like outdoors filming that went on and all that stuff. It's a big fucking deal. Turns out to be an admitted hoaxer in the 80s. Just happened to actually film a Bigfoot in 1994. Really? And this brings into question also the Meldrum thing. So if Paul Freeman's out there artistically creating prints, including potentially dermal ridges, either by intentionally or unintentionally, because he's using his hand to sculpt these things, and Meldrum fell for it, what does that say about Meldrum? A lot, if that's the case, which it almost certainly seems to be, because, I mean, is this an Ivan Marks situation? but it's kind of backwards. It's flipped on its head. Like, did Paul Freeman ever see a Bigfoot? Because the whole Ivan Marks thing, again, it's flipped the other way around. It's he claims all this shit in the 80s and he got busted on it. But then in 1994, he fucking films one. So a reverse Ivan Marks. What are the odds? Oh, yeah, that's right. 0% chance. So he was a hoaxer. It's confirmed. You try to debunk it if you want. Fine. You can make excuses. A lot of people will hold on to the Freeman footage, which is touted to be the second best footage to the PG film. Even though it's a 2-second clip of like, what the fuck was that? Like, whereas Patty is like, what is that? Like, genuinely, like, what is that? Paul Freeman is like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. I don't know, man. I like, this shit ain't coming from nowhere, right? And who the hell in in the 1980s had any reason to discredit Freeman unless he was actually lying? Yeah. Where's the suit? I don't care. Who knows it? Who knows if it was a suit? Maybe it was a big dude wearing a hide. It could be that simple. It could just be a fucking black cow, a black fucking bull hide. Like, that's all it takes for the 1 fucking second you see it. Yeah, again, like, so, I mean, I'm going to throw this out to Eric, and say, hey, Eric, like, dude, I don't know where you could go with this, as far as like, the sheriff's department confronting him. Like, I don't even know the county. I would assume it was in his area, right? The Blue Hills, Blue Mountains, whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out to Eric to like maybe try and get to the bottom of it. But in my mind, there's no reason in the world why ABC, Good Morning America, would ever make the statement, but you faked footprints. The only thing they're talking about there is their investigative journalist knowledge of this shit happened. They're not talking about stomping out and practicing casting footprints in his backyard. That's not what they're talking about. They're absolutely talking about something they know about in an official capacity because they're fucking journalists in the 80s. And that's how things worked. Yeah, I mean, Jeff, I see what you're saying. I got a lot of information coming in here at once. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of anybody better than Eric, because he's proven himself to be so goddamn effective in this shit. I'm just gonna say it now. Like, I think Ron Moorhead's full of shit. I think the Sierra Sounds are faked. I don't put any stock into the Sierra Sounds. I've never thought much of anything about the Freeman footage other than it's inconclusive. as compared to the PG film, which I objectively think is not a guy in a suit. So the Freeman footage has always been like, who cares? But I mean, again, if we're going to talk about filming Bigfoot, what better like context than, oh, it turns out that fucking Paul Freeman is a hoaxer, and people in the Bigfoot world have never heard that before, including me. Including me. I've never heard any of this until the other day when Matt Crowley brought it up and tagged me in it. He actually tagged me in it, and I'm like, well, I've never heard this before. Is it made up? Like, is somebody setting up Paul Freeman? Doubt it. Why? Cool, Eric. Well, maybe, move my fucking mouse here. I mean, look, Eric, again, like, so what I just said, I'll provide you the information. It's all been provided here, but whatever extra information you need, if you could look into it, cool. It was a long time ago. It was the fucking 80s, and I'm not sure what county this was in, but there has to be some kind of documentation of this. And again, ABC didn't get it. They didn't get that. They didn't pull that out of thin air. Back in the 80s, it was the big three, and their news organizations. That was the only game in town, like as far as television media. That was it. And so they had real investigative journalists. And so if you were on ABC and there was something controversial, they knew something about you. You didn't want too many skeletons in the closet. And for them to mention the fact that he had faked tracks and that he admitted to it, I'll play you the clip. I got it queued up right here. So I'll just fucking play it. Okay. Well, I mean, the thing I've always thought about Michael is that he's always going to defend his dad. I don't know what he had to say about it because I haven't read the book. And no, I don't have to read the book to be able to opine about the fact that it seems to me that Paul Freeman is a proved hoaxer. That he admitted. Yeah. And so everybody, like all you guys seem to sort of be like, I don't know anything about the job thing. Again, like I've never given two shits or a fuck about the Freeman footage. It's always been dumb to me. So like I don't know all the details. So I don't know about the job, and he lost like a part of that narrative, I guess, of him being a hoaxer is that he lost his job. So maybe this information has been talked about before in a major way that nobody, but somehow it never fucking hit my plate. In the 10 fucking years I've been here, I've never heard anybody provide evidence of Paul Freeman being a hoaxer like I just provided tonight. So I don't know what the job thing is. I don't know what the job thing is. I don't know like what decade did this happen? What was it centered around? I don't know this. I have no idea what this like narrative about like he lost his job over something. So if you guys could explain, I'd love to hear it. Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. Okay. Well, I mean, and I get that. Like everything I've ever heard about Michael's book is that he's basically like, you know, he was trying to say that, he was writing a book about his dad, and he was trying to say his dad was a good dad. And that very well may be, and probably was. Paul Freeman probably was a good dad. I have no reason to doubt that. That doesn't mean he wasn't hoaxing Bigfoot shit and looking for attention. Um, those are two different things. You could be a good dad and fucking hoax Bigfoot shit. Yeah. All right. Well, Steven Strauber's telling me that I'm behind the curve and I'm late to the party. Um, and that's fine, dude. I mean, I know the coalition posts a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of that stuff never creeps into the actual Bigfoot world, right? Um, that's why I'm doing this show. I've never fucking heard it. I've never heard that. It's always no. He made it. Oh, that whole thing is because he was making footprints to like practice making casts. And I'm like, no, he's practicing making Bigfoot prints. Flip that fucking script. He was practicing making Bigfoot casts. And he fucking fooled Meldrum, obviously. Like, most likely, that's a whole different fucking ball of wax, right? That's a whole different show. It seems that he fooled Meldrum. And I know Meldrum has the whole like narrative and story about like, well, we surprised him, Meldrum and his brother surprised Paul Freeman one day by just dropping in. And then like they went to some other place by themselves. I don't know, some parking lot off some road up there in the fucking Blue Mountains or whatever. And they found footprints. I'm like, well, what are the odds? What are the odds that Dr. Meldrum would ever fucking find a footprint himself? Right? The foot morphologist professional, the most professional Bigfooter in the whole entire world that knows everything about fucking Bigfoot feet would ever actually find a print himself. There must be millions of these things. So, like, even that story that Meldrum tells, there's some kind of something off about that. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm learning all kinds of shit. Well, so evidently, so is my audience. I mean, can we at least say this? Right? I mean, if Paul Freeman is a proved hoaxer, then what validity can we put into the footage that, he released to us? If he's a known hoaxer previous to the footage, what validity like can you actually put into it that it's so fucking inconclusive. And I don't care if there's some thing that moves. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to do. I could probably replicate something like that with my iPhone. I don't know, give me 8 hours. Give me 8 hours. I could probably come up with something better, actually. Just saying. Mm. All right. Well, Bernie seems to recall it. Again, I've never heard this in the Bigfoot world. This is news to me. I've heard the narrative. I've heard part of the narrative about like him, you know, making like making his own tracks in his backyard to practice casting them. I've heard that part of the narrative, um, but it's news to me that he confessed to the sheriff's department, who confronted him and said, "No, this is bullshit." It's a little weird that they would be investigating that in the first place, but whatever. It was the '80s. Things were different back then. I don't know, but it's news to me that he was confronted by the sheriff's department, and they must have really confronted him if he went, "Yeah, sorry, I made it up. I made it all up. None of that happened, and I faked tracks to like as a part of like being evidence of the story I was telling." That's news to me. Why am I just finding this out 5 fucking days ago? Like, goddamn, we could have been done with this stupid Freeman shit a long time ago and not wasted everybody's time and money on a fucking conference centered around it 6 months ago. Like, how stupid is that now? You know, looking like at this, how stupid is that? It's like, that's why I keep saying, man, it's all bullshit. Everything, all of this is bullshit. And when I say that, I'm reserving this much of, I don't know what's going on here. There is this element that I don't understand and that no one can explain. Not Ben Radford, not anyone. Okay? Granted. You know, and those guys are my friends. They're my fucking compadres. You know, Steven Strawford. Tip my hat. These guys are people that I respect. But they can't fucking explain this. But all of this is bullshit. Clearly. And why can't we just accept that? Like, you know, I guess it's too much to accept for most people because it kind of ruins the fun, right? Sorry, I'm not keeping up with you guys. I want to see what everybody's saying, obviously. Really? What are the answers? Did he confess to the sheriff's department or not? That's a pretty straightforward question that requires an answer. Is that true or is it not true? And if it's not true, then where the fuck did it come from? You know, is this something that was made up recently? Somebody made up a narrative about him, like this book, this guy in this book, the thing that I quoted, the thing that Matt Crowley quoted. It's from somebody's book. When did that book come out? Like, what the fuck is this all about? You know? All right. Well, okay. So you believe the author, the tracker, or the author? Um, is this guy still alive? Is this author still alive? I forget his name already. I apologize. Like again, all this information is brand new to me, and I'm not good with names anyway. Steven, not good with names anyway. So, is this author still alive? Yeah, yes, and well, there's Matt. What's up, Matt? And yeah, Matt's talking about Michael Dennett, who was. I mean, I should just play this thing. I'm thinking I might play the whole thing. So I have the Good Morning America clip if you guys want to see it. And it's kind of long. I mean, if I play the whole thing, it's like 7 minutes long. What do you think, producer? Is my producer here? I don't even know. I don't even know if my producer's here. Let's see what the producer has to say. Jenny, are you here? Should we play the clip or what? Because now we got some interesting discussion going on here. So Steven Struffer says he's live. All right, so Eric, get on this author guy. No, Petey's not the producer, Kaiju. Cool, Eric. Also, maybe see if you can get a hold of this author. You would be better at it than me. Like, I don't craft good emails. You're definitely the guy for that. All right, so let's get a hold of this author. Let me go back and let me throw some stuff up that that Matt's saying. Anyone genuinely interested in the Paul Freeman issue needs to read the SI article written by, okay, so I think I put this up, Michael Dennett. Yeah, it's quite damning. Plus, you need to buy the new book, the Freeman Files thing, yeah. And then what else did Matt say here? Freeman Bigfoot Files community high quality color photo tracks, which are clearly excavated. I would agree with that. Not compressed. This would account for the dermal ridges in some of his tracks. So that's the other thing that Matt's claiming here is that any dermal ridges that were actually pulled from or show up at the cast actually came from his hand, because he was being an artist. I don't know. Matt would probably know better how to, like, what, I don't know what the motions are. Like, you kind of stomp it out like this and do this, draw it. He was being an artist, and so his actual dermal ridges could have actually shown up and actually been casted, I think, is the thinking there, which is interesting. It would be, I think about that. I'm like, God, that'd be a great way to hoax a fucking track, So my producer has not chimed in. I don't think she will. I mean, God, suspected. I mean, fair enough, dude. Like, thanks for being here. Thanks for your comment. I mean, I'm just not there. I'm not down with this suspected. All I need is for a professional tracker who's not in the Bigfoot world to fucking tell me this was bullshit. That's all I need. I'm out. The footage is not compelling. It really isn't. There's nothing compelling about that footage at all. Like, the people that want to grasp onto it and say that there's something amazing fucking about that footage, it just, again, give me 8 hours and I could probably do better. I think I could do better. Where would I start? The first thing I would get, a hide from a cow. Yeah, like black. Um, Shine it up a little bit, make it little bit shiny. Give it a little fluff. Give it a little shine. Um, Find some big dude, put it over it. Freeman footage. Like I think it's that easy. Actually, I mean, all it takes is some like intelligence and artistic vision. So again, man, Todd Standing. You talk about the Freeman footage. Look at what Todd put out. Like that is full facial. Like that motherfucker is ballsy. I'll give him that. He's ballsy, dude. He puts it out there. He's like, I'm going full facial. And people, people fucking believe that shit. They believe it. Um, so where are we at here? Like whatever. Like Eric's my go-to guy as far as any investigation. Like, I mean, he's very smart. He's extremely capable. I've never met anybody like Eric in the Bigfoot world, and he's objective. So I say, dude, Eric, fucking look into it. Like, as a fucking like a fucking thing that needs to be looked into, right? Right. Okay. All right. So Mike is yes. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm behind here. This is an interesting show, and right. So I think where you heard that from was, and Matt's responding saying, actually, with the Freeman stuff, they were actually probably like his own dermals that from his artistic stuff. But the funny thing is, Mike, is that you're understanding how it could be. What would you say? Just um, a natural thing that happens from casting. It's an artificial thing that happens from casting. That also comes from Matt Crawley. So that's kind of funny to me. Is that you're actually addressing something that Matt came up with a long time ago, but Matt's saying no. The Freeman, he thinks it was his actual like, dermals. You know, it's kind of funny. But thanks for being here, Matt. I'm glad you showed up. It's good to have you here, and Steven, Jeff, Eric, all you guys, man. Kaiju. Yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. I get it. I get it. I mean, I'm just saying it'd be interesting, dude. Like, I am not gonna fucking dig that shit up. You know, I'm not gonna dig it up. Um, I've had enough of that shit, dude. Like trying to reach out to people that like, ugh, ugh. That's why I have a new producer. That's her fucking job. I just hit the go live button, and you get what you get. That's it. Like I'm tired of fucking dealing with it. The administrative shit. But whatever, Eric. I'm just saying you're good at it, and I think you should start a true crime channel. Like I think you'd be good at that too. Like that, I think that's your wheelhouse. Would be true crime, and it's hot right now, man. There's room for you. True, I'll get to that too. Um, right? I mean, those are good points. And yeah, and I do remember Thomas always thinking that, always his opinion was always that it was bullshit. Um, and yeah, I mean, Thomas, he's a smart guy. He's been around the block. He used to hang with the old school crowd, whatever, Four Horsemen guys. Um, I no Raptor. I think I've seen. I've heard Thomas talk about it. Like he thought it was like Nikki's saying here. It was Ivan Marks syndrome. That was his opinion. Um, I've heard Thomas say that. I think more than once. And yeah, good point. Yeah, no leaf litter in the prints, but all around it. Yeah, I mean, I think the case is pretty damning. You know, um, that's why I sort of like introed the whole idea. I was like, well, it turns out that Freeman is a proven hoaxer, and I think that case is. I think it's already been made. It's not me making it. It's just me like trying to bring it to a bigger audience that maybe he's never heard it, like I never heard it. And again, dude, I've been swimming these waters for 10 years and never ever heard that kind of damning evidence. you know so to me it's pretty damning. um and so again, like the Meldrum aspect to this, not good, not good. If Paul Freeman was a hoaxer, a known hoaxer, you know Meldrum being convinced by anything that Paul Freeman ever provided is not good for Meldrum's reputation. It's not good for Meldrum's credibility, you know. But I don't think you'll ever hear Meldrum debunk Paul Freeman. I don't think that'll ever happen. If he was smart, Dr. Meldrum, you'd put out press release tomorrow saying that upon further examination of Paul Freeman's prints, I've determined them to be hoaxed. But that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Anyway, that's about all I got. Bigfoot filmed, breaking news. Bigfoot filmed nothing burger. 2 days. 2 days. It didn't take 2 months. It didn't take 4 months. It only took 2 days for that to be dialed back and revealed as the nothing burger that it is. And I think this evidence against Paul Freeman is very damning and pretty much shows that he's a proven hoaxer, which, I mean, I don't care how much you like the Freeman footage or you want the Freeman footage to be real. I say there's no fucking way in this world that it could be real. Because again, the odds of a person who was caught hoaxing in the 80s that would actually film a Bigfoot just several years later or whatever, the odds of that actually happening are this. I'm not even going to fucking tag it with a virtual. It's just a fucking zero. There's no fucking way in the world. There's no way in the world that that probability plays out for that dude. If it did, if I'm wrong and that thing in the footage is Bigfoot, that ain't no undiscovered primate. That's some fucking magical being that had some sick fucking plan to fuck with all of us. The magical being's fucking with all of our heads right now, But it ain't no undiscovered primate that's in that footage. 100%. It just can't be. It just can't be. And thanks, Kaiju. I will. Like, again, I've gotten to the point, dude, where I'm so fucking tired of the Bigfoot world and it's absolute nonsense that I just don't care anymore. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what their opinions of me are. I don't care if they accept me at the conferences or reject me at the conferences or, it's just like the fucking song I played at the beginning of the fucking show, man. Stick that sign right up your ass. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I got 1 foot out the door. So I'll kick whatever butts I got to, man, on my way out. And if anybody wants to take exception and try, have a fucking, a debate about anything they disagree with about my opinions or my claims or my evidence, bring it. I'm down, and we can have a respectful debate. I promise I will not be an asshole. I'll even bring in a moderator. Yeah, dude, I'm just telling you, Raptor, like, I'm sure I've heard Thomas address this publicly, maybe even on my own show. And I remember him kind of saying that he thought Paul Freeman was like suffered from Ivan Marks syndrome. And basically, he didn't think that the footage was real. He thought that Freeman was a hoaxer, but he kind of tied that to, well, because, whatever. Maybe the guy saw a fucking Bigfoot. And maybe he did. Maybe Paul Freeman did see a Bigfoot in the early 80s. And it did have that weird fucking effect on him, Like, that's possible. I don't know. I don't know what fucking happened to that guy. And we'll never know. Dude, I'll never change anything. You don't need me in the Bigfoot world. You don't. You don't need me or any of the boys. Because we will never, ever, ever compete with the entertainment factor that is what the Bigfoot world's all about. The millions of people that want to hear encounter stories or research stories or Bigfoot activity stories and just all the entertainment factor, fictional channels. Me and the boys will never fucking compete with that. No matter how hard we try, no matter what we say, no matter who we call out, never, ever compete with it. And so there ain't no fucking money. Like, this is my time, man. I'm here on my time, And I could create YouTube channels that actually make money, you know. So what I do here could be translated into other things in the real world that aren't fucking Bigfoot related. And so Nikki's one of the boys. So I just like calling it that. Obviously Nikki's a girl, but I like calling it the boys because I like that show. I like that show. It's a good show. And it started to get a little weird in season 4, but it's a great show. If you've never seen The Boys on Amazon, check it out. It's a great show. It's the ultimate farce on the whole superhero narrative. And oddly enough, if I may, if you will allow me, anybody that's ever seen the show, the boys are a group of humans that have no superpowers. And they're the good guys in the show. And the bad guys are the sort of Avenger type. It's a farce on all the like Marvel and DC characters, right? It's a farce on that, and so all the superheroes, they're pretty much all the bad guys, not entirely the Bigfoot boys. I like that. Yeah, the Bigfoot boys. That's better. Good. Thanks, Kaiju. So like the humans who have no superpowers, they're the good guys, and they call themselves the boys, and they're led by this like really cool character called Butcher. Great show. And so that's why I say the boys. But I like the Bigfoot boys. I might do something with that. The Bigfoot boys. All right. Might do something with that. And of course, females are welcome. You know, again, Nikki's part of the Bigfoot boys. She's a female, but that's just what we call it. I'm sure she's cool with it. Yeah, I just, okay, there's that word again. Suspected. I guess that's better than just saying, oh no, there's nothing to it. You know. Yeah, again, I mean, that's a little subjective. All right, Nikki's cool with it. All right, well, sounds like we might run with this. The Bigfoot boys. Good job, Tristan. Hey, Tristan, you could be in the group too. That's what Petey said. Right, Petey? You want to talk to the podcast? Petey, you want to be on podcast? I was going to do Petey Cam, but I kept, I have to bring it up on my phone. I have to point it at him, and it kept logging out. Like it kept crashing. I'm lucky enough just like to have the fucking internet I have right now and be able to do a show. Nikki's cool with that. Yeah. She said she's cool with being in the Bigfoot boys. She's female. It's okay. Hey, what's up, Bigfoot? Thanks for being here. I'm Petey. So I heard what was going on tonight, about the hoaxing stuff. I don't like that because, that guy here at the camera, he could have just bit the Bigfoot. He could have just ran at it and bit it, which is, what I would do. I would just bite it. So why didn't he do that? I don't know. That's what I would do. On a Bigfoot adventure I'm gonna go on pretty soon. Well, we might film it, so I don't know. We'll see So what's going on, Bigfoot World? You got any questions for me? Because I didn't get to do PD camp tonight. I was really upset about that, but it's okay. I'm PD. So hey, wait, hold on. What are you doing that? Stop doing that. So any questions for me? Maybe what's that over there? Is that a squirrel? Or wait, I don't know. Is that a squirrel over there? So yeah, I killed a fucking copperhead. Right? You guys hear that story about how I killed copperhead? I did. So see, I'll bite things. I'll bite Bigfoot, get DNA sample, and then we got DNA sample. Uh-oh, I hit something I shouldn't have. B, you hit something you shouldn't. Yeah, good boy. All right, where are we at? Oh, shit. Don't fall down, B. Thanks, Kaiju. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I don't know. This stuff's important, you know? Like, I'm not cynical, and I'm not trying to be a contrarian. These are things I get accused of sometimes, but they're not true. The truth is that I fucking care about the truth with a passion, because the truth matters, you know? And so if Paul Freeman's a hoaxer that pulled one over on Jeff Meldrum, I want to know that. You should too. Otherwise, I mean, just, you know, does the truth matter or not? And there's certainly some things that we'll never get to the truth of, you know? Again, Ron Moorhead, I'm starting to think that that's all bullshit. I don't know that it could ever be, like, proven. You know, breaking news, you know, Moorhead, proven hoaxer. I just don't see that happening. But there's a lot to consider with all that stuff. So, again, I bring these things up because the truth matters, because, you know, if you have any interest at all in getting to the bottom of this sort of Sasquatch mystery, which is really all it is, at the end of the day, it's just a mystery. There's nothing definitive at all to go off of. Yeah, people, they look like primates, I get that, but you don't really know what we're dealing with. So if you ever want to get there, you gotta go the path of truth. You have to go the path of reality. And there's just not a whole lot of that in the Bigfoot world. Most of it's completely fucking bullshit. So if you ever want to get to the bottom of this, you got to navigate the waters correctly. That's actually so fucking simple. It kills me that people don't see it that way. It's a pretty simple concept. If you want discovery, there's a path to it. And that path involves truth, not lies. Not fucking stories. Stories aren't like truth. Stories don't create reality. I can make up a story right now. It doesn't change your reality. Just because I speak it. Like a spell, incantation changes reality? No. Stories are not fucking reality. And that kills me. So yeah, I mean, I'll stick around. It's all, I mean, if I got something to say, I'll say it. Because again, man, like, you know, I've kind of come full circle, you know, and it's all right here for everyone to see on the channel. You can go back 8 fucking years and listen to episode 1, and then you could randomly start picking out shows, dude. You'll see the evolution. But I've come full circle, dude. I've landed where I started. Why are people saying they're seeing fucking 8-foot-tall monkey men in the woods? I don't know. After, 10 years of being here, I don't know. And that was on day 1. I didn't know. And I still don't know. The only thing I've discovered is that most of it's bullshit. The vast majority of it is bullshit. Everything from hoaxing to misidentifying. Bigfoot on the brain, blah, blah, blah. We talked about that ad nauseum. And I'll keep fucking talking about it in that narrative because it's a informed and true narrative. Period. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I do appreciate you guys being here tonight. Like, everyone attended. Saturday nights are fun. And yeah, probably a good night to be on, actually, it seems like. So I'm gonna play an outro that is going to demonetize my fucking my show, which is fine because I don't need the 5 cents anyway. So I can afford to play whatever fucking music I want. Thanks for being here. I think Paul Freeman's a hoaxer. This whole stupid we filmed Bigfoot nonsense that happened the other day, it's already proven itself to be absolute fucking nonsense and not even worth fucking talking about anymore. Ugh, sorry I sound so jaded. I'm very passionate about this. The truth fucking matters. Do you want to know what's going on or don't you? Ask yourself that question, and we will pick up this conversation later. Thanks for being here. Appreciate each and every single one of you.